The last few chapters of One Piece have mainly focused on the events taking place on Egghead, the island of the future. The Straw Hats ended up on the island by a stroke of luck, and since then things have progressed rapidly. The Straw Hats gained an ally in Vegapunk and his satellites, and then they had to fight CP0 in the Seraphim. After capturing Lucci and Kaku, it seemed that the Straw Hats could finally breathe a sigh of relief. But little did they know that they would have to deal with a traitor who was hiding among their ranks. Given the fact that Egghead is the hub of all the action, fans were expecting One Piece chapter 1079 to be the same. However, the latest chapter was more focused on Elbaf, where a massive event was taking place: the rematch. Previously, Eustace Kid and his crew had decided to fight the Red Hair Pirates. However, it ended quite badly for Kid, and he ended up losing his left arm. After being humbled, Kid tried to ally with Apu and Hawkins, but he was crushed by Kaido. Kid was imprisoned and tortured by Kaido, as he wanted the young pirate to join his crew. Kid's misery continued until Luffy reached Wano and helped him to break free. Kid decided to ally with Law and Luffy, and this time, it proved to be the right decision. Kid and Law fought against Big Mom, who was just as strong as Kaido. The two supernovas had to use their Devil Fruit awakenings repeatedly to just injure Big Mom. Oda also went easy on the two pirates by not letting Big Mom use her advanced Conqueror's Haki. Nonetheless, Law and Kid defeated the Yonko and made their mark. Their contribution was highly significant because otherwise Big Mom would have reunited with Kaido and Luffy would have been killed. Following their victory over the Yonko, all three Worst Generation captains received a bounty of 3 billion berries. Furthermore, their success meant that the alliance could disband. Law, Luffy, and Kid went their separate ways. Not long after his departure, Law was ambushed by the Blackbeard pirates. Luffy and his crew traveled to Egghead Island. Kid's destination remained a mystery until recently, when it was revealed that he was on his way to Elbaf, the nation of giants. Shortly afterward, it was confirmed that the Red Hair Pirates were currently in Elbaf. Given the history between the two pirate crews, everything pointed to a massive fight. Humbled yet again, Eustace Kid was ready to go all out against Shanks, but Killer warned him that this time the Yonko may not spare his life. Kid decided not to heed his first mate's warning, and in the meantime, Shanks used his future sight Haki to see what would happen if the supernova was allowed to run loose. Shanks hastened to the shore and immediately attacked Kid with Divine Departure, a technique once used by his late captain. The sheer power of the attack not only knocked out Kid but also injured Killer and a few other members of the crew. Kid was in a bad shape, and Shanks could easily kill him. However, Heat stepped in and decided to give the Yonko all 3 of their road poneglyph rubbings. Shanks took them and immediately went back to his ship. Following Shanks' departure, Dory and Brogy unleashed Hikoku Sovereignty, a combined attack that was enough to slice the Victoria Punk into 2. The attack sealed the fate of the Kid Pirates. They lost their captain, their crewmates, and their ship. After suffering such a crushing defeat, there is no chance of the Kid Pirates claiming the One Piece. What this event means for the story: Kid's defeat means that he is out of the race for the One Piece. Since Shanks took all 3 road poneglyph copies, he is now one of the frontrunners to claim the fabled treasure. Shanks has already expressed his desire to get his hands on the One Piece, so after this victory, it is highly likely that he will make his way to the location of the final road poneglyph. Unless it is on Elbaf, then he has all 4 road poneglyphs, and he can simply go to Laugh-Tale. Kid's crushing defeat also shows the disparity between the power of the Yonko and the other pirates. Kid foolishly tried to challenge someone out of his league, and he got his comeuppance. Trafalgar Law, his fellow supernova, also seems to have been defeated by Blackbeard. The 2 pirates had locked horns on Winter Island, and they had bet everything that they had. In chapter 1079, Blackbeard's ship was seen outside Egghead Island, implying that the Yonko had gotten the better of Law. Meanwhile, the Straw Hats are facing a major threat on Egghead Island, and they cannot escape so easily. At the moment, Shanks has no further impediments in his path, so he can go to Laugh-Tale unchallenged. One thing that remains unclear is why Shanks waited for so long before trying to claim the treasure. Unfortunately, it doesn't appear that this secret is going to be disclosed anytime soon, so fans will have to be patient in order to learn more about the chief of the Red Hair Pirates. One Piece, Shanks' future sight Haki, explained. Shanks is one of the 4 emperors of the sea in the world of One Piece and also among the strongest characters in the entire series. Introduced at the very beginning of the series as a character who put Luffy on the path of the Pirate King, Shanks holds tremendous importance in the story. Although he has remained a mystery for the vast majority of One Piece, especially fighting-wise, Shanks has finally received some focus recently in the manga. With the story now finally in the final saga, fans are going to see a lot more of the Yonko red-haired Shanks, which is extremely exciting. In One Piece 1079, fans got to see Shanks in combat for the very first time, where he demonstrated the ability to see the future. What is Future Sight Haki? Readers were introduced to the power of the Future Sight Observation Haki during the Whole Cake Island arc. Essentially, this power is an extension of the color of observation. Fans know that the color of observation is one of the two main facets of Haki that everyone possesses. The color of observation allows the user to perceive incoming attacks, as well as do things such as measure power levels, feel the emotions of other beings, and sense presence, among other things. This power can be called a sixth sense ability as well, making it extremely useful in the world of One Piece. While it is very layered, as seen over the years, this power can be trained to a degree where it allows the user to see the future itself. Fans were introduced to this ability through Charlotte Katakuri during the Whole Cake Island arc. According to Beeg, Katakuri had trained his observation haki to a level where it allowed him to see slightly into the future. He demonstrated this ability throughout the entirety of the Whole Cake Island arc, and it proved to be quite a pain for Luffy to deal with. The application of this technique is rather straightforward. It lets the user not just perceive an incoming attack but also see how it plays out in their mind. Accordingly, they can deal with incoming attacks and avoid that outcome, giving them a great edge in battle. Users of the Future Sight Haki. While Katakuri was the first user of Future Sight Color of Observation in One Piece, there are other users as well. Luffy picked the skill up during the fight against Katakuri and managed to see into the future as well. However, his usage of this power differs from Katakuri's. While Katakuri specializes in keeping it active almost all the time, Luffy only activates it in instances. That said, Luffy can see the future better than Katakuri, and that is evident from the fact that he was able to fight Kaido and dodge his attacks such as Thunder Bagua with his Future Sight Observation Haki. Other than him, Kaido himself is also a user of this ability. He showcased it in his Drunken Thief form, where he saw the future and copied Luffy's Jet Culverin technique. Kaido is, seemingly, also a great user of Future Sight Observation Haki, and he was able to not just keep up with Snake Man but also completely outpace and surprise him, which just goes to show that his level of the skill is, at least, on par with that of Luffy and likely much better as well. The last user of Future Sight Observation Haki that the fans know of is none other than the red-haired Yonko, Shanks. Shanks demonstrated this ability in the latest chapter of One Piece during his fight against one of the members of the Worst Generation, Captain Kidd. Shanks' Future Sight Haki. When it comes to the color of observation, Shanks is completely in a league of his own, by the looks of it. This was evident from his little scrap with Eustace Kidd when the two met in the New World right outside of Elbaf. In an attempt to destroy the 9 ally ships of Yonko Shanks, Kidd unleashed his strongest attack, Damned Punk. With this technique, he planned on blasting every single one of the ships in front of him, completely killing everyone on board in a single attack. Kidd mentioned that he would do this in 10 seconds flat. Before he even launched his attack, Shanks triggered his Future Sight Observation Haki and saw the entire future, which spanned over 10 seconds, in his mind. In this future, Shanks saw Kidd destroy every single one of the ally ships and kill their captains as well. Shanks called this a great catastrophe and immediately jumped into action, preventing Kidd from destroying his allies. By coating his sword, Griffin, in the color of the Supreme King, Shanks unleashed a technique that the fans are very familiar with, known as Divine Departure. This technique was formerly used by the Pirate King, Gol D. Roger. While Divine Departure was able to destroy the entirety of the Kidd pirates in a single attack, Shanks' Future Sight Observation Haki was just as impressive. He can easily see 10 seconds of the future without breaking a sweat, and it is very likely that he can see even more than just that. This would make him the best user of the Future Sight Observation Haki so far and a threat to anyone in the world of One Piece. That's a wrap for this video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We'll be back with more amazing videos very soon.
確かに